Hi everyone, this is James from Ain't No Game, and this is a retro game hunt. This is Game Over in Amsterdam, a retro game shop I visited just over 3 years ago when I first visited Amsterdam on a mini city break. I was over again just before the New Year, so I thought I'd pop in again 3 years on and see what video game treasure I could pick up. The shop is located really close to the central train station, pretty much directly opposite, so a really convenient place to visit. Game Over Amsterdam doesn't sell just games, it sells DVDs, Blu-rays, vinyls, music CDs, and is absolutely stacked full of retro goodies. I had a great chat with Simon, who's the store owner. He was really helpful and really lovely and allowed me to film in his shop. So I'll pop their website and social media details in the description box below, so do be sure to give them a follow and a like and check out their website for all your video game needs. So right here at the front door we have a selection of sale items, and also opposite is in this cabinet are some of their systems for sale. So we've got a NES, we've got a Dreamcast, Saturn, the undisputed heavyweight that is the CDI, that's there as well. Got a classic PS3 Slim there, and it's the Super Nintendo, lovely, and a lovely turquoise N64 there, an original Mark 1 Master System, €81 for that package. And then below we got an Xbox One and a Neo Geo with its giant cartridges. Got a great selection of games for all kinds of platforms, so here is a great selection of PlayStation 1 games. Got a copy of Bust a Move 2 here, which has a very interesting and slightly sinister front cover. I think he's using matches to keep his eyes open because I'm guessing the game is that addictive. You tell me, I've never played it. All the games in the store are in alphabetical order and all individually priced, so you know exactly what you're getting, and if there is a specific game you're after, you can quite easily see if it's there. And we've also got some Japanese PlayStation 1 games there, and an arcade stick that's been knocked down to €50. Bargain! Great selection of PlayStation 2 stuff here. I did see a copy of Project Zero, which is a game I played way back when in university over the course of 3 nights with Ben, who's featured on the podcast, and it's a very scary game, so if you are a fan of survival horror, worth picking up. And we've also got, what's that, Ghost Recon, got an unboxed Japanese PlayStation 2 game there, and a couple of memory cards. So 3 years ago while I was in here, I picked up a selection of Game Boy games, and it's great to see that they've still got an extensive collection of unboxed games. Again, they're all labelled at the top there and priced, and for added convenience they're all alphabetical as well. So as you can see, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows there of unboxed Game Boy goodness, and below there's even more unboxed Game Boy games there, some of them for the Game Boy Color as well, and in the back you can see a selection of boxed Game Boy games as well. And I must say that the condition from what I could see on these boxed games was absolutely terrific, and there is a game there that I did pick up for my own collection. And just below we've got some of the systems as well, Game Boy Advance there, and some DS's as well. And here's some DS games, but I don't have one of those, so I was not after them. Got a great collection here of some boxed older games. There's some Vectrex stuff there. Also just below here are some Atari games. Now I didn't really get into gaming until I had a NES, which was my first console, but it was a VIC-20 that was my first real video game system. It had a cart slot in the back and it played tapes. So I've got a nice little collection of that, of my first computer. Let's move away from this Intellivision and Atari cabinet to one that contains Sega goodness, some Game Gear games there, and also a Sonic plush there in the back. Pretty sure my brother had one of them when we were kids, and I think we even had a Tails one as well. I will have to ask him when I next see him. Here's some Saturn games for the Japanese system, some converters there so you can play it. And hey, some Mega CD games. Now, I only saw 2 while I was in there, so one of them was Mickey Mania, which I believe was a demo disc, and the other one is Afterburner 3, which was unboxed. Here's some Sega Dreamcast games. That's a mix there of Japanese and PAL European ones there. Some boxed, some not. It's a Dream Key, I think. And over here we have some Master System unboxed and boxed games as well. And they even had some of the cards that work on the Master System 1 and also the Master System Converter, which was available for the Mark 1 Mega Drive. And speaking of Mega Drive, here's some Mega Drive games. It was a mix of Genesis and Japanese Mega Drive games as well. Some PAL releases in there as well. Good selection of unboxed and boxed games. What's that? Little Mermaid there, Decap Attack, Dynamite Duke. There were some boxed copies of that there as well. And a selection of FIFA games. And again, all alphabetical. So if you know what you're after in Game Over, it's really easy to go in with a list and see if your games are there. What are those? Super 52 in 1 and Super 12 in 1. I wonder what are on there. I should have asked. If you know what's on those games, please do leave me a comment or even a... You know what? I'll look for it on YouTube. I'm sure there's some videos. And here at the bottom there we've got a 4-way adapter for 4-player games. If you're playing something other than Micro Machines 2. Small boxed collectible figurines there. Here's a selection of music. There's some CDs there and also a cracking selection there of vinyl, and there's some 7-inch singles. I mean, look, Tarzan Boy. It's a top disco hit. I do already own it though, so I'll put it back. And then back to the central island, some DVDs there on the top, and directly below we've got a great selection of handheld LCD games. There's a boxed copy of Nintendo Game & Watch Ball, and also a lovely selection of single screen Game & Watch games there as well. Now if you're my sort of age group, which is sadly the wrong side of 35, then these little handheld LCD games may have been your first introduction into the world of computer games. For me it was Donkey Kong Jr., which I received as a gift Christmas 1988. Cast your minds back. That's a long time, isn't it? 31 years. And then we've got some Tamagotchis there and some other little handheld games. Highway. Wonder if that's based on the ITV show that used to be on a Sunday night. Probably not. Probably a racing game, isn't it? And then we've got more on the shelf below. We've got a Mickey and Minnie one there, and there's that red one, Power Rangers, Winnie the Pooh there. And below some of the more numeracy based LCD and digital games that would have come out in the early 80s. I'm sure I saw Simon Says in there as well, which was a memory game. And then we have some collectible figurines. That's a Neo from the Matrix box set, a remote control Mario Kart there, and then we've got, oh, it's my neighbour, Totoro. What are you doing here? And let's head over to the other side of the store where we have got some PlayStation 4 games. God of War there, a RPG game, actually got me into RPG games. I've got no real time for things like Skyrim or Fallout really, even though I have Fallout 3. But God of War completely turned that around, so worth picking that up if you are a fan of that series or RPGs. Got some Xbox games there as well, Xbox One and Xbox 360, but I don't have either of those systems. But here's something I do have, a Gamecube, and there was a great selection of Gamecube games up for offer in Game Over. What we got there, Monster House, based on film, so I'll have to do a podcast about that I suppose. Got a couple of X-Men games there, some Wii games, and some Wii U stuff here towards the bottom of the cabinet. And if we move over a little bit, it's the classic that is the SNES, and in this cabinet was a selection of Super Famicom, NTSC SNES and European Super Nintendo games. Primal Rage there, Donkey Kong Country, Killer Instinct, Kick Off, and then below we've got some more Super Famicom and unboxed SNES games there, and then one of those boxed games I did pick up again for my own collection. And just below that in this Nintendo cabinet was a selection of N64 games. I did actually have my eye on Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero, which is there, but unfortunately it was for an NTSC console, which I do not own, so it had to remain in the shop. Some Famicom carts here, and I must say I do love the Super Mario Bros. 3 artwork on the Famicom cartridge. And here's an interesting one. This is a portable Famicom, which I've never seen before. Let me know in the comments if you've seen one, played one, or even own one, because I'd like to find out more about that. And then up here we have some unboxed NES games. And, oh look, Mario and the Princess. Keep hold of her, mate. Bowser will be along in a sec. And there's a small selection of boxed NES games and a NES Zapper. So that is Game Over in Amsterdam. I'd like to say another massive thank you to Simon for allowing me to film in his store. If ever you are in Amsterdam and are a game collector or like picking up little bits of gaming nostalgia or even some films or vinyl, do pop in and see them. Simon and his team, I'm sure, will be more than happy to help you. Again, I'll put details of the shop and social media in the description below. And if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like or a comment, or both. And I'll be back soon with more video game / film based podcasting hijinks very, very soon. Thanks very much for watching. See you soon.